Today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Go over and get you a free audiobook 30-day free trial over at www.audibletrial.com/nerdcave. You can be picking up Timothy Zahn's new book, Thrawn. It's freaking awesome. Or you can get Ahsoka. You can get all these Star Wars books because everybody loves Star Wars. If you don't love Star Wars, what are you doing with your life? There's over 180,000 titles, though, to choose from. You can get it on your iPhone, your Android, your Kindle. And if you have an MP3 player and what are you doing with your life, you can get that there as well. So go over to audibletrial.com/nerdcave and grab you one of those new books. Get smart. We read at the Nerd Cave. We read. Build it beautiful. So this is public service announcement.
Audio
the date
books.
and time announced for PlayStation's E3 conference. As E3 inches closer, Sony has revealed the date and time for its E3 press conference, which will take place on Monday, June the 12th at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time.
What day is that on?
That's on a Monday.
Okay. Are you sure?
Yeah, because I said Monday.
Oh. I was thinking. I should have my PTO in by then, so I could take a day off from work.
Okay. I have rookie camp on part of that day, but they've moved Xbox's conference to Sunday, so
Who cares
So we can
about
have
Xbox?
Saturday and
Who cares about
Sunday
Xbox?
to do every. Or, yeah.
well, Derek's coming down. We'll talk about this off air.
Yeah.
It's there. It's awesome. PlayStation is going to just kill it. Kill it.
I hope they do.
Like they're going to Batista that thing.
I'm excited for all of E3. I want to see what Bethesda's doing. I want to see what PlayStation's doing. I want to see what Microsoft is doing because right now all of them are doing great things.
Mm-hmm.
They're unleashing their new systems. And
Yes.
Well, not their new systems, but their kind of updated systems like the.
Yeah, Scorpio will be definitely a heavy influence on the Microsoft side.
Mm-hmm.
There's been rumors going around with PlayStation 5. That's not going to happen anytime soon.
No.
Like, the people that are perpetrating that are A, don't know what's going on, or B, are just dumb.
Yeah, because looking at these systems,
They just put out the Pro.
Yeah, and Microsoft just put out the Scorpio. There's no way that we're going to see a new Xbox or a new PlayStation within the next 3 years.
Yeah, like, PlayStation 4 is selling so well, why cut that? Why cut
Yeah.
it? Like,
Keep riding that thing.
get your head out your butt and actually look at what's going on.
Yeah.
It's sold like over 60 million consoles so far.
Because it would be, on Microsoft and Sony, it would be such a bad idea to do it within the next year or so.
Well, they've already... PlayStation's console refresh with PlayStation 4 Pro. And Xbox is fixing to do the Scorpio, which is a refresh, So there's no reason to,
Yeah.
a year later, put out a totally new console.
Exactly. That's why I said anywhere from 3 to 4 years we might see talks of a new console coming out. But I think it's like I said, about 3 to 4 years down the road for that.
Yeah. Next up, Derek asks, thoughts on Darksiders being announced. Did you play /like the first two games? Play the first game.
I watched my brother play a little bit of the first one, but I just never got into it. It looked interesting, but
I was super pumped for the first game, and then for some odd reason it wouldn't like it was like in a tutorial, like it was like halfway through like the first 4 hours, and there was like another tutorial. It was about countering, and it never would count my counters, so I never could get past that part of the game.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
you just weren't good.
It's kind of like me on the first Assassin's Creed when I try to beat the game and like my game glitched out and I was having to fight like a doppelganger of myself, and every time I would hit it, it would hurt me.
yeah,
Or was that part of the game?
no.
You were just in your own mind.
Like, it was
Yeah.
crazy because I literally couldn't. I tried everything. I tried killing other people. It wouldn't let me hit other people. So I'd end up killing myself by killing my doppelganger. It was weird.
Yeah, as much as I love Assassin's Creed, the older glitches are something to to behold.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was like, there's no way I'll ever play through that first game again to get to that level.
Yeah.
I wanted to beat it so bad.
Just watch the end. I know you want that achievement, but
It's not worth it.
yeah. So THQ Nordic and Gunfire Games have announced that Darksiders 3 is currently in development and is scheduled to release sometime in 2018 for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. The game is set to be an open-world action-adventure that includes a focus on exploration and environmental puzzles, and will continue the series' staple hack-and-slash combat with the protagonist, Fury. If you don't know anything about Darksiders, each game goes through you playing as one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The first one was War, the second one was Death, and this one is Fury. So, and seeing the trailer, she has a different like fighting style. She's more crafty than the other two. War was very, like big, bulky, swing around the thing. Death was scythy guy. I'd never played the second one. But just seeing how she fights, like she tricked one of the guys. Like she has like this like whip lasso thingy-ish thing, and like this like big beast was running at her, and like she whipped onto his like sword, jumped over him, and like used his own sword to cut his head off.
Dang.
So pretty freaking cool, if you ask me. Now, I'm not like, I've got to play Darksiders 3. Didn't play Darksiders 2. But if you're a Darksiders fan,
This is for you.
the gods have smiled upon you. So there you go. There you go. Now, I know Allie is excited about this. The next Assassin's Creed game is named Origins and rumored to feature naval combat. Assassin's Creed is set to return in 2017, back from its brief hiatus after having skipped 2016. For keen fans of the series, however, the incessant leaks emerging from this year's installment have almost made it as though it never left us. As E3 2017 looms, these leaks are only becoming more frequent under the veil of anonymity. I had to pause right there. It was going to be an antomity. Ubisoft sources have approached us to provide fresh details from this year's game. Now, originally, we've already established that it's set in Egypt, and that it was originally going to be called Empire. It is no longer called Empire. It's called Origins. And it's scheduled to come out this year. Our sources suggest that Origins is a vast open world experience.
Yep. They released all this information like literally over a year and a half ago. Though.
Yeah.
Like.
Vast open world. It's just the vast open world. Why? It's a game now. Like that is a just normal. Every game is a vast open world.
They're like, oh, we're open world. So
Like-
are 100,000 other games.
Like the only games that aren't open world that I've played recently, Death Squared, freaking Overcooked, are about the only two that are not open world.
Well, there's a difference between like there's a lot of games that call themselves open world, but they really aren't. Like to me, open world is like stuff like Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. Like there's other games that have open worlds in them, but they're not open world. Like a lot of them have very. Because, like, in Skyrim and Breath of the Wild, like, there is, like, a main story, but you can be distracted for hours.
Yeah.
And then for stuff like, just because I haven't played any Mass Effect games, but, like, for Dragon Age, like, it has open worlds to it, but for the most part, you kind of have to stay on the main story. So, like, there's other examples like that, so, and especially with Assassin's Creed, like, you can go and do all that stuff, there's all these side missions, but they're not truly open world in the sense of like Skyrim and Breath of the Wild. That's my take on it.
The story is rumored to revolve around the original Assassin's Creed guild, which I think that's interesting. I want to see that. And will feature two main characters, a man and a woman. Ooh,
man.
Its structure is said to be less linear, featuring a character progression system less tied to the story. A development source we spoke to compared it to numerous times to Bethesda Skyrim. They said it was the impression of the project and internally are so far positive. I can't even read. Going back to, it's going to have naval combat. Black Flag is one of the best Assassin's Creeds.
I'm still trying to piece through and play all of it, but I love, because I got so behind with Assassin's Creed after the third one. But like, I love the naval battles.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so much fun, especially when you go and you're like having to to take the forts. And like you have them shooting
Yeah.
mortars at you,
Yeah.
and then you're just trying to dodge, and you're trying to shoot.
Yeah.
And upgrading your ship's fun too.
Yeah, it was. It was a ton of fun. And I can't wait to get that back in. They went on to say, not only is Origins rumored to boast an explorable ancient Egypt, players will also apparently be able to go beyond it, possibly even as far as Greece. We were told that boats will return in the game. Just talked about that, allowing players to sail the Mediterranean. Naval combat naturally is also said to be included.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Yeah.
like the way that they're describing it, that is an open world game to me. Like they're able to go beyond
Yeah.
the story area.
Now I'm going to complain real quick.
Okay.
If you're saying something's going to be like Skyrim, you're comparing it to a game that's over almost 10 years old now.
But it still holds up. Like
I know it holds up,
But-
but I'm just saying, if you look at what Bethesda did with Fallout 4,
Fallout 4 is great.
it was pretty much Fallout 3 again. Like, it's not living in the times, it's living in a vacuum. So I'm hoping that Ubisoft doesn't make the mistake of just doing what people have done in the past, actually innovate on
Yeah.
what their product is. Because that was one of the cool things about the first Assassin's Creed, and especially the second one.
Yeah.
It was an innovation, and it's just been felt more like a reiteration.
Oh.
I feel like a
Wordplay.
lot of people just use the example of Skyrim. I mean, I use the example just because, like, I think that more people have played it and more people know about it. I mean, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, Fallout is definitely
Yeah.
very popular, but I honestly feel like Skyrim has a bigger, like, fan base or player base to
I'd
it.
be like Breath of the Wild. I'm like use
Yeah.
something that's now.
New.
Yeah, new
Yeah.
and...
Yeah, and actually does different things.
And actually has a bigger map than Skyrim. Like, I
It's
didn't...
so freaking huge.
It is. Like, I didn't believe it at first. I was like, really? But then, like, just, like, the more you think about it, you're like, yeah, no, it totally is. And, like, I've seen all the data comparing it and stuff. But
If you enjoyed that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you want gaming content, you can go over to Nerd Cave Gaming right there. If you want to support us, you can check out Patreon right there. If you want more videos, check them out right here. Go ahead, pick one of them. I wonder which one you're going to do. If you're going to be cool, you'd pick any of them. All 4 of them. You'd be awesome.